So we're here with Craig Newmark at the PRSA International Conference. Hi, Craig.
Hey.
We are going to be showing this video to a lot of communicators around the country and also a lot of social media savvy folks. My question for you is actually about Craigslist. It's come from obviously a very small startup to a very big enterprise. One of the questions that the Twitterati wanted to ask you was about how do you scale and keep momentum going in an enterprise like this?
On the technological side, you just use a lot of open source technology and a lot of servers. Keep things simple. From the beginning, we minimized database access, for example. On the corporate side, try to keep things as small as possible. In hierarchies, people tend to tell their boss what they want to hear and soft the line, which means very quickly management loses touch. On the community side, give a lot of power over your site or whatever to the community. Trust them and allow them to do a lot of policing and regulation of the site. You have to have some centralized responsibilities still, but people are trustworthy. In our case, we allow them to flag away stuff which is wrong, and while not perfect, it works really well.
And actually that leads me to the next question, which is how do you get this into a local community? I mean, it's wildly popular in many local communities, and how have you done that from a communication standpoint?
Well, the way we do it is by not doing it. Perhaps we could do a better job of promotion, something like that, but we put up a site in a city when people suggest they're ready. You know, we don't want to go in unwelcome. We put it up, the word gets out slowly, but it's all for real.
How long does it usually take, do you think, to power up a city? I mean, what has been your experience?
In the US and Canada, well, overall we don't know, but in the US and Canada, basically we put it up, and then what seems to happen is people moving back and forth between busy cities to...
Oh, and this is exactly what live video is all about.
When it comes to new cities, basically people move back and forth and get the word out, and it works in this viral way, and that's worked well for the US and Canada. It's worked well for expatriates across the world, but we've only been supporting multiple languages for about a year.
Oh wow, okay, so it's
And it feels right doing things. Sometimes I'd like things to start faster, but that's the way it works.
Great. And also, from a personal perspective, we were talking a little bit earlier about your personal technology consumption, and you were talking a little bit about Twitter and what you do with Twitter. Who got you turned on to Twitter?
Earlier this year, I was at a conference called Canernet on the Sea of Galilee. This is the thing done by Yossi Vardi. I shared a room with the notorious Robert Scoble, and he suggested I start using Twitter. He was completely right. But I just have one reminder for Mr. Scoble. What happens in Galilee stays there.
Oh my. I'm going to have to send this to Scoble and see what he says about it. Your working environment, I hear like tales that you still work out of a home office sometimes, or do you do that?
Yeah, I work generally in two places. There's the office, where I'll spend a few hours typically every workday. I honestly work out of my home office a lot more. That's the one real luxury I granted myself. It's pretty good. I overlook, some bird feeders in a wooded area. Hence, my twittering will occasionally involve some bad bird haiku. But I am terribly fond of my birds, including hummingbirds, jays, house finches, house sparrows, the occasional goldfinch. I really do like that a great deal.
Yeah, that's great. One more question and then we'll kind of wrap it up, and that is, what do you see as the importance of communication for like startup businesses, communications and communications professionals particularly?
Well, the technology is, comparatively speaking, the easy part. The hard part, the challenging part, is getting the word out about what you're doing and then convincing your audience to visit you. So again, I'm a nerd and I love the technology, but the human stuff is the hard stuff, it's the important stuff. That's what you got to work on.
And a lot of people say, I mean, there's been a lot of buzz around the internet about how the PR practitioner and the PR profession is not needed in startup companies. What do you think about that?
I strongly disagree. I think you need to work really hard in getting the word out, but it's a new environment. Instead of truth and message coming from the top down, while that plays a role, you have to start working on how do you get it from the bottom up and on a peer-to-peer basis.
Great. And what have you found to be the most effective in what you've done?
Continuous engagement with your audience and the use of some of the relatively new technologies, instant messaging, Twittering or equivalent, blogging, any of those work.
Great. So would you recommend that most communication professionals get on these different platforms and start using them right away?
Oh, I think actually, I would say that's literally true. You need to start working with them, and it needs to be now.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Craig.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, take care.
Greg, I want